My problem was Danielle dancing on Rob's grave like she just won something. You didn't. It's like you're dancing on your own grave. Rob was playing the best game out of all the Traitors, and now all of a sudden he's gone and you're celebrating? Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. Make sure to
like,
comment,
and subscribe.
Thanks for watching. Keep watching. Hello everyone, welcome back to BachMakers presented by Good Time Media. Today we are talking about Traitors Episode 7, Season 3. Michael, Charlotte, Tom did it. Tom did it. Everyone clap it up for Tom. Tom did it. Our guy Tom. What an episode for Tom. That was an absolute masterclass. I don't know. Where do you guys want to start here? So Michael, I guess we'll start with you. They did exactly what you said to do 2 weeks ago. You got to kill West.
Yeah.
You got to kill Derek. They did it both.
Yeah, I mean, they did it. I think this episode, to start off, I think this episode was the best episode by far. Like, I was watching right there last night and I was like, wow, this is great. And I just watched Severance episode 4, which was also a bomb episode, right? And so I was like, damn, I'm really about to watch Traitors, like, after watching that masterpiece of television. But I was still just blown away. So I thought it was really cool. Sad to see Rob go because I was rooting for him. I don't think the show is gonna be the same, to be honest. So, but it was cool. It was cool to see. Good episode.
He really had no chance though, right? Like he couldn't just keep doing this every week. That's what I was towards the end, and we'll talk about that round table at the end, but there was no end in sight for this. He was either going to survive somehow, but then just do the same thing next week. So like there's no way he could have done it. Charlotte, are you going to continue to defend Carolyn and Danielle here? Because you've been on their side, and I have some beef.
I've never been on Danielle's side.
Sorry. You're on Carolyn's side.
Carolyn. Oh my gosh. Yeah, whatever. But I still think Carolyn has it. I think that this week, I think Carolyn and Danielle, like, I don't know, they don't hate each other as much, it seems. So, or they like kind of got over it. I don't know. Like, I'm glad that neither of them brought it up at the round table again and kind of just like decided to both go against Rob. But I still think that Carolyn has a much better chance than Danielle because I think like the crying. Oh, I was so happy when Danielle was crying after Derek, like the thing, like, and they were talking about it outside. I was like, someone has to talk about this. I was like, someone has to be like, okay, wait, that was a lot, right? Like, I think the excessive crying and just, they're going to need to point fingers at someone next because now no one's going to think it's Brittany. So I think it's going to eventually be turned on her.
It makes no sense why Danielle is so upset when they kill people. That's the point of the game.
Didn't Derek and Danielle play Big Brother together?
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I
didn't
can't
watch
comprehend.
it.
Like, she's like, oh, but like he's my friend. If you're gonna win the game, eventually they have to die. Like, you have to murder people. So I can't.
Yeah.
That's when I got mad.
Yeah, when they were in the, what do they call it? The terrace?
Yeah.
Whatever. When she was like, oh, let's kill them, and Danielle's like, no, we can't kill them. No, we can't kill them. Oh, it was so frustrating. You could see Rob and Carolyn just getting so frustrated because, oh my God, like every time Danielle pops on my screen now, I honestly just like, I'm just like, get off. Like I'm so done with you. I really hope Carolyn just goes behind her back and says, I'm going to do this by myself. But what was I going to say? How did everybody just gloss over the fact that during that one riddle game, when Danielle had 2 opportunities to give herself a shield, was just like, no, I don't need a shield. Yeah. How is everybody just glossing over that? Like that, the 2 facts that everybody has, like the hard evidence, are at the round tables looking at who people vote for. And then literally, during the games, like getting shields and stuff, how people like do that, right? Those are like, everything in between is just gossip and talk. And that doesn't matter. And everybody just doesn't, I think the faithfuls are now finally waking up, which is, I guess, a good sign. But a lot of them, they're still not acting as a team. People were voting for Gabby. People were voting for Tom. Like, those are wasted votes. You could tell Rob was pissed when Dylan voted for Gabby because he knew that was a wasted vote.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There's so much going on. There's so much like just rumors spread. It takes a true mastermind to really like look through all of it, and that's why you have Tom, who's able to see through all the bullshit and really piece it together and be like, it's got to be Boston Rob. They don't make brains like Tom's nowadays, and that is a brain that figured it all out. And I'm willing to say it now. I am fully rooting for Tom.
Yes.
Like fully
Same.
rooting for him to somehow win this game because that'd be the greatest thing. I don't care if all of the internet hates him. Everyone's like, you gotta hate this guy, you gotta hate this guy. I'm not gonna conform. I've seen what I've seen on this show and this show only, and I love it. The moment of him walking behind Rob and Dylan as they were
that was
talking,
so funny. That was so funny.
it sounded like I don't know how the recruiting thing, apparently that's been a thing in the past. It sounded like Boston Rob was like about to recruit Dylan. I don't know, it was a weird verbiage there, the way they were talking.
Well, they'd have to, it's like Alan will tell the traitors in the turret, like, you can
you can recruit somebody?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like they can't just recruit a traitor.
Okay. I thought you could just like gather Avengers and be like, okay, that makes sense.
No.
Yeah, that moment of Tom walking behind him, something about, I think he had a red jumpsuit on at some point.
The whole episode,
yeah,
the red jumpsuit, which was fire.
Oh, dude, and him and Dylan at the challenge, incredible. Everything about it, incredible. Yeah, no, I'm fully rooting for Tom, and I can't be convinced otherwise.
I'm still rooting for Tom to make it to the end, and then Carolyn to win. I'm a big Carolyn stan.
I can get behind that as long as Tom. I would have been so mad if Tom went home.
Wait, this is what I was thinking about why they haven't voted Danielle out. I think they see Danielle in the same, they pass Danielle off kind of in the same way they pass off Carolyn, where they just like, they're like, that's just their antics. Like, I think that they're just like kooky, you know? Like, I think that they're like, Danielle just like can't control her emotions. And like, you know, Danielle like, can't be a traitor because like she's so emotional, which like, she can't be so emotional, but the way that they're, every single person like is like, oh, Carolyn's like, no, because like she just acts like that because like she's weird. I don't know what the word is, but that's what I think about Danielle.
Let's talk about the challenge a little bit. I did love watching. It was again
the only fun challenge to watch.
Very fun to watch. I enjoyed it a lot.
Fun.
I was like yelling at the TV and like cringing and reacting vividly to what was happening on screen. Chriselle opting out in 5 seconds was hilarious. You could see it coming.
Kind of smart.
Oh, I would have done it too.
Because she knows she was going to lose. She knows that she wasn't going to beat Boston Rob in a challenge with like, you know, like the Survivor type of game. I actually don't even watch Survivor. I don't know if that's what they do on Survivor, but I imagine there's a lot of bugs, right? So she knew she wasn't going to win. So like, might as well just be like, 4,000 less in the pot. Like, I might die tonight anyway. Like, might as well just leave and not deal with it.
No, I don't.
Because they had to put those same outfits on later when they went back into the church. That's also messed up. Anybody think about that?
I didn't think about
sorry,
that.
That was the first thing I thought about, of like them having to put those same outfits on that probably didn't have time to get dry cleaned.
I bet they got dry cleaned.
I was gonna say they probably filmed that like I don't know when when would they film that? I have so many questions about the filming schedule. Like, you know.
Oh, like when they filmed the like what part?
Just like when are they doing? I mean, I guess in any show, I'm always curious about the confessionals.
Yes.
And like how they know when to pull who and when, and like I don't know. I like whenever I'm watching shows, I'm always just thinking about like the producers that are like also like in the room and you just don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just makes it interesting. And like every single person has a picture before they go into the round table. You know, they post them and stuff before the episode. I'm like, they have to do that also. And when are they? Well, I guess sometimes they show them eating, but
yeah, no, the confessionals always throw me off because how do you do that without also giving away what your storyline is? And so they have to talk to everybody. I assume when they do a confessional round, they have to sit and talk with every single person. That's got to take forever, especially on a show like this where the cast is pretty big. Obviously, like Bachelor, Bachelorette, you can be more like, hey, let's pull you in chat while you're not talking with the lead. But I feel like in a situation like this where there's secrets to be kept, you have to do everyone. You can't just like pick the traitors and talk to them because then it's like, all right, it's obviously these three. So very, very interesting, the production side of things. Yeah, so Rob was just putting on a clinic during this. Same with Dylan. Dylan was used to this stuff. So they just I foolishly think I could survive by just closing my eyes up until the snake part, probably. I think if I just close my eyes and just as long as once I open my eyes and see anything, I'm out. But if I just
What
close
about
my
the
eyes,
stuff falling on the head? That would be when I saw it, and then wait, the funniest part was when Sam and Ivor, like,
Oh,
they
they
were
were
just
cute. They were
giggling.
cute.
They were just holding hands and giggling. Like, more like dirt was like coming down. Sam's mouth is open. He's
yes,
like, ha ha ha. I'm like, close your mouth,
it was unreal.
please.
That was crazy. He looked like chaotic. He looked scary, just like
Oh my
laughing
gosh.
open mouth while maggots are falling down.
Oh man, and
Those
when
are
Nick was going down
low
their
key my like
bags. Ooh,
slept on favorite pair is Sam and Ivar.
Yeah, they just don't
Just
do
like
so
anything.
they're
funny.
kind of becoming like a bromance in a sense, like them
Them
little
playing
badminton
badminton.
match. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I'm kind of rooting for them now. Like if the other guys I'm rooting for are out, like cool to see them win it.
It's funny when you
Wait,
cut
when
to Sam.
Gabby was talking about Ivor at breakfast and
Yeah,
didn't know he was there, that was so.
Gabby. Besides Tom, it's like 1A, 1B. Gabby had a hell of an episode. Gabby was cracking me up during the challenge too, because she's just cussing up a storm. She's like, "Fuck me,
Go
fuck
thief
this,
my lawyer.
fuck everyone. You're here for my lawyer." Yeah, incredible, Gabby. I think this show is doing a much better job of capturing Gabby's personality than The Bachelorette ever did. We knew from her time on The Bachelor that Gabby was hilarious. The Bachelorette kind of tamed down Gabby. This is Gabby unleashed. This is what we want. We want Gabby in her truest form, and this is what we're getting. And I love it. I can't get enough of Gabby. Gabby and Tom. I want those two to have their own show together somehow, because I don't think they like each other by any means. Obviously, no one there really likes Tom, besides Dylan. Dylan's taking a liking to him because I would assume Dylan doesn't know the backstory with Tom. Is that fair to
Uh,
assume?
Well, he's
I don't
on
know.
a
When they were walking
reality
down the aisle,
tour, so.
when they were walking down the aisle, it seemed like he knew. He was like, I guess I'm getting married. Like, I'm guessing getting hitched to Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
So at least I feel like he knows at least why he's famous, or
Yeah.
where he's from.
Let's go ahead.
My first note that I wrote down was at the very start of the episode, and I take this back by the end of the episode, but I said Tom being on to Rob might be the biggest thing for Rob, because nobody believes Tom. But then he actually was pretty well spoken at the round table, and made his peace and had people to back him up. But at the start, I was like, man, that's actually kind of good for Rob that he's Tom's onto him.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the round table at the end. Here's why I'm mad at Danielle the most. And we've been hard on Danielle a lot. But again, I don't think she quite understands the concept of this game. So it's basically between Rob and Brittany at this point, going back and forth. Carolyn and Danielle both vote for Rob, which in real time, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you obviously need numbers. Then once Gabby's vote is revealed, you realize Rob was going to go anyways. So then voting for Rob helped them in the long run, because then because all of a sudden, if Rob reveals himself as a traitor and then they realize, why didn't you vote for Rob? Then eyes start to look at them. So it worked out in the end for them. But then my problem was Danielle dancing on Rob's grave like she just won something. You didn't. It's like you're dancing on your own grave. Rob was playing the best game out of all the traitors, and now all of a sudden he's gone and you're celebrating. Like, I know you have to pretend in the round table to be like super happy, but in the confessional, she's like, this is the greatest day of my life. You just lost the game, in my opinion. I think it's over for them now.
I think it's been over for Danielle.
I disagree. I disagree hardcore. I do think it was wild that Danielle was celebrating and stuff, and she's just the fakest person ever. But you see in Rob's confessional at like when he got caught at the end, he was like, I don't blame Carolyn and Danielle for voting for me. Like, they pretty much saying he would have done that in their shoes. Like, he gets why they did that. But then he was like, Danielle is playing like the worst, is just a bad gamer.
Funny.
She's so bad. And I was just like, wow, well, at least he's picking up on that.
Yeah.
So it sounds like him and Carolyn would have, rode it off into the sunset if things were, probably a little different. But I think the Traitors are in a perfect spot. There's 10 people left after tonight, after they murder somebody, which I think they should murder. I think they should murder Dylan.
Disagree.
That would cause so much, but everybody would be so confused. And if they murder Dylan, they can pin it on Gabby because Dylan voted for Gabby, and so that at least knocks one out. And then they could be like, wait, maybe Tom, and then they could try to pin it on Tom and then Gabby, and then at that point, numbers wise, you only need to get 2 more nights, right? You only need to get 2 more nights, and then you're in the clear. Because once it's 2-on-2, then the game's over.
Okay, so who's all up? Let's talk about who they're going to kill here at the end. Who's all up for the kill? It's Gabby, Dylan, Tom,
that one housewife,
Chriselle and Dolores.
Chriselle and Dolores.
Yeah.
Those 5?
I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing with Dylan. I think Dylan's going to get banished regardless because he has been tied with Boston Rob, like neck and neck.
Yeah.
And they're going to...
I think they know that Boston Rob was playing him. I think everyone
Yeah.
can see that Dylan was like a little puppy that like looked up to him and like thought he was like under his wing,
I feel like he's the most vulnerable at this point, and eyes are going to look to him. So I don't think you have to kill him because he's not.
You don't have to.
He's not on to anything. So I would say.
But nobody's on to Danielle or Carolyn, so it doesn't matter who they kill.
I think Dylan has the better chance of getting banished at the next round table. So almost leave him to hopefully get slaughtered, and then you can knock off someone else. So I think you kill like a housewife. I think you take out. Who is it, Dolores or Chriselle? I think you just get rid of one of them, and then it goes back to like the housewife theory or whatever, and then it's more chaos. And then hopefully they banished Dylan, and then that can lead to Gabby, and then all of a sudden they're taking each other out again.
Yeah, that would be the case for leaving Dylan.
But there's no way they make the smart decision. Whatever the dumbest possible decision is, they'll do.
I don't know what the dumb decision would be. I think the dumb decision would be killing Gabby. I think that'd be the stupidest decision. Because like that wouldn't make if anybody she got what, 2 votes as a traitor or just Dylan? She might have gotten another one. It'd be stupid killing Tom because 2 people thought he was a traitor.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be stupid killing Tom.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
they really can't mess this one up. To be honest, I think any kill's good here. I would argue Dylan's not a great kill because I think he's already vulnerable. So just let him flounder a little bit. He's the furthest away from figuring anything out. But he is smart. So at that point, if you're like, hey, if you think he's smarter than everyone else, might as well. So I don't know.
He's at least, he kind of seems like he's the head of the faithfuls, It kind of seems like he's the head of the snake in a sense. Kind of is the leader of the pack. Now that all of the actual game players are pretty much gone from the faithfuls, right? There's no actual game players left, right?
Yeah, we have Tom. So all the faithfuls left: Tom, Gabby, Dylan, Brittany. Brittany's going to be interesting because Brittany's pretty much confirmed a traitor. Confirmed a faithful, right?
I don't think it necessarily means she's confirmed a faithful. Like they could still try to pin it on Brittany for sure, and like she's still gonna have heat on her.
The thing is, it's hard to conceive of them killing off 2 traitors because they have confirmed that Boston Rob turned on Bob the Drag Queen, and a traitor killed a traitor. So it'd be hard to justify Brittany also being a traitor and killing Boston Rob after already killing a traitor. Because then
both other traitors voted for Rob.
Yeah,
that's the smart thing. People don't ever remember and like ask and be like,
who voted for who?
Who voted for who? That's the one piece of like evidence that like you just gloss over.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're playing those types of games, that's the one thing you need to know. And that's why like that decision of Danielle and Carolyn voting for Rob was so huge because it's like, what hand are they showing? What hand are they playing? I was really hoping one would vote for and one wouldn't, because I think that would be really interesting to kind of see what that would lead to. But they both, I think, made the smart decision.
Yeah. All right. I'd say let's go ahead and give final predictions on who they end up murdering at the beginning of next week's episode, which is super fun because it's very rare in reality TV when you're in it as deep as we are, where I really don't know what's going to happen. I have no inkling on like who they're going to murder here. I really don't. And it's very rare that I'm this surprised on a reality TV show. So I don't know. Do you guys have any? Are you leaning some way? What's your final prediction? Who's gonna get murdered here?
Like, I think maybe Dolores or Chriselle, but I don't know why. I just feel like maybe. I have no reason.
Yeah, I'll say Chriselle dies. I think they killed Chriselle.
I think it's kind of time for Chriselle to go. No
That makes
offense
sense.
to her, but
Just based off the reactions that they showed of like the 5 people turning around, Tom saw something. His reaction was crazy.
yeah.
He saw something.
Tom always sees
And
something.
I know he always sees something, but all the other reactions were not as crazy as Tom. So I think they're gonna make a stupid decision and kill Tom, and which I think leaving Chriselle and Dolores isn't necessarily a bad idea because at the end of the day they're kind of clueless.
yeah.
So it's not, at least like Tom was on to Rob and he like got him out. Like he got the kill really. Everybody was like shouting out Tom after the round table, like you got him, you know, like he got that. So maybe they do kill Tom. That wouldn't.
It'd be really funny if they kill Tom because he's so excited. Just tear him right down, like right after.
I want Tom in these situations at all times, always. I want him in some kind of murder mystery party. Just 24. I would watch that every single time. If you just put Tom in an environment where he's got to figure something out. Oh, it's incredible. The facial reactions, his eyes. It's beautiful. I can't wait. I'm really enjoying the show. I can't say that enough. This is the first time I've watched this. We've talked about it. The first season I'm watching. It's very rare I'm this infuriated and entertained by a show, and it's doing a good job. So I'm excited. Any final thoughts heading into next week?
Yeah, I mean, all my other notes are just Tom moments from the episode. Like literally, like the maggots on Tom's hat.
Oh my god,
That was hilarious.
Oh, and poor Sierra. But Boss Rob was so nice to her. That was actually like really like nice to watch.
Yeah, he was just talking her through it. He was like, "Hey, what's your birthday? Like, tell me other things. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. It's just a big lump."
Yeah,
Him trying to like justify or like explain away a snake on her shoulders was funny. He was like, "Don't worry, it's not a snake. It's just a big lump that moves and slithers."
If she was with anyone else, they would have not made it 100%.
I think Boston
Rob
could have coached me through it. To be honest, if I was in that situation, I feel like it could have worked, and I don't think So
I thought she was gonna fall in love with him from that. I was like, wow.
They're gonna go to New York. I forget what meal they said.
Get the
they talked about.
Yeah, smart. Boston Rob, he will be missed. I think this game is gonna get very chaotic now.
Bring him back, producers. Bring him back somehow.
Well, you could tell even at the beginning of the season when they voted to like not have him on the show. They're like, we have to have him. He's too good. So they found a way to get him back in. So, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next week for more Traitor Talk. So thanks for tuning in. Like the video, comment who you think's getting murdered, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching this episode of BachMakers. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider joining our Patreon page linked in the description below. It's $5, cup of coffee, and it helps support us a ton. Thank you, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and from next week on the BachMakers, we shave Wyatt's head off.
Maybe. Only one way to find out.
By tuning in.
That was implied.
Back to you in the studio.
And cut.
Thanks, Julianne.